10 disturbing videos that broke the internet. Let's get into it.
I use my head to express myself.
That sounds pretty boring.
I use my head to express myself.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the creepiest, most unsettling, and most disturbing videos that spread across the internet. We'll explore what the clips are and any backstory behind them.
But first, I'd like to caress this rusty kettle.
Number 10. This is a special time.
There's good reason for my glistening skin.
Watching a human covered in white, thick content, using a spoon to lift some from their head, while they stare into the camera and consume, is one of the things the creators of the internet probably never envisioned. But here we are. In 2012, the Little Baby's ice cream brand in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, released this video to entice customers.
I eat Little Baby's ice cream. It keeps...
I mean, that's not a bad gig. I know that that's what a lot of sorority girls want, is to have some cream on them, you know what I'm saying? But personally, I would probably want to do like a Rocky Road or maybe a Superman ice cream instead of just the classic vanilla. Yeah, maybe I would go probably more Superman. That blue and red, feel like a hero. But that's just odd. Because this is a type of role that I think that it's starting to get more and more. You're moving to LA and you're trying to get your big break. And you're basically broke, and you have a friend of a friend that you met at like a gala, got a connection on the phone, he calls you up for this role, and he's like, so I got a friend, he's got a job for you, and he sends over the script. And it's just naked man, closed captions, covered in ice cream, staring aggressively into camera while eating. And this was probably I couldn't imagine getting that call. But this is probably like the writer's strike era. I know this was a little while ago. When was this? Little Baby ice cream? (2011). So yeah, 2012. This is probably like a Super Bowl commercial or something. But yeah, I would go like Superman, so that I'm not making anybody unhappy in today's times. But yeah, I can't imagine that your first break is that.
Watching a human covered in white, thick content, using a spoon to lift some from their head, while they stare into the camera and consume, is one of the things the creators of the internet probably never envisioned. But here we are. In 2012, the Little Baby's ice cream brand in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, released this video to entice customers.
I eat Little Baby's ice cream. It keeps me young.
The creepy music and narration on top helped turn this into a viral hit with millions of views. So, they made other unsettling videos. However, by 2019, the success didn't last as the brand closed down. Fun fact, the substance in This Is a Special Time isn't ice cream. They used marshmallow cream for the effect.
Brother. That makes a lot more sense. Alright, because I was thinking I'd be so cold, bro.
Wink and nod and hug and high-five each other with
That's Peanut Butter Baby now. All of his life's work from a couple years out the womb. And that's him now.
great enthusiasm.
Number 9. K-Fee. When internet culture was in its infancy, this video played a practical joke on unsuspecting folks. When it opens, it looks like a commercial with a calm car traveling through the countryside, but then comes a screaming jump scare as a ghoul suddenly pops up. The clip was a sensation. It even sparked theories that some kind of supernatural shenanigans were
And the thing was is that I was zoned out thinking about how that marshmallow, like how long it took them to put that marshmallow on that guy for. So when the guy commentating was like, and this jump scare, like I kind of locked back in and was just following the car.
caught by an unsuspecting camera team. This 2004 video was made by the German energy drink brand.
Look how grainy.
K-Fee, one of a series of videos as part of a campaign. Little did they know, they had developed one of the most iconic clips of all time. Number 8. Video dating tape. In 2017, the YouTube channel Balaclava Girl 95 uploaded a clip mundanely titled Video Dating Tape. In the description, they explain finding an old VHS tape with this on it.
Hi, I'm Tony. I'm 36 years of age, 5'10", an entrepreneur.
In the video's opening, you expect it to be funny as Looking for Love comes up, and Tony is wearing a kind of tropical themed shirt. Yet instead of being a typical dating video, it takes a dark turn. After cutting to a recording of a house briefly, Tony is interrupted by noises off camera and leaves. When he returns, there are more noises, this time a woman whimpering, and he explodes in rage.
You just
Yo. Oh my gosh. All I gotta say is, other than Jimmy Buffett, whenever I see a person wearing a Hawaiian shirt like that, I just assume that they're a sociopath. Especially if it's, like if you're a tourist, or you're on a cruise, or you're going to Hawaii or whatever. But if you're in the middle of New Jersey and you're rocking the Hawaiian shirt, then it is what it is.
Next, a clip with Tony in a different shirt shows his anger issues once more. Many believe this unsettling video to be real.
I look forward to seeing you.
Celebrate Zaxby's birthday with half-off handcrafted milkshakes. Who's got the sauce?
Do it now. Spritz it good. Rub it on your body just like you should. Right now.
Number 7.
Wait, so was this posted on a dating app?
More noises, this time a woman whimpering, and he explodes in rage.
You just
Next, a clip with Tony in a different shirt shows his anger issues once more. Many believe this unsettling video to be real.
I look forward to seeing you.
Is it not real? I guess it's not. Or maybe he just wanted to make a dating video that he knew that the woman would forget. And that could be a kind of like maybe he's like a psychology professor in a way. I know that it's very, like I remember in college when I took psychology, and the first unit was about, if you're a psychologist, don't ask a psychologist to read your mind, because that's not what psychology is. And my professor was so adamant about that. And yeah, so maybe it was just kind of a sly way to get you a girl. See, I know what you're doing, Tony, bro. I know what you're doing. Trying to be little a Voldemort, trying to tickle them women. That's what you're trying to do. I see you.
Number 7, blank room soup. In a near empty room.
I remember this. I remember that this was happening, and it was the talk of the town. But I think a whiles later, it was staged, or they just could never find that person or have any evidence of that person in the sewer. But I think that maybe this was from a Chinese game or a Japanese game show when it gets just wild. Like absolutely ridiculous.
A man sits at a table using a type of ladle to eat from a bowl in front of him. At the same time, a strange person wearing a Funko Pop-esque costume walks towards him slowly. It strokes the man, who begins to sob. Giggling is also coming from somewhere. It ends with a second similarly dressed person joining, but the story continues in 3 other subsequent parts. The video first popped up online in 2005, supposedly coming from the dark web. Some speculated that the man was being held against his will. These outfits were seemingly based on the work of Raymond Percy, called Ray Ray. He alleged the costumes were stolen, but this has been disputed.
And that's the thing. It's just... You really don't know. You really just don't know. With all the Sona videos going around, like there's one that keeps popping up, and it's of dogs saving their family members, and they catch it on a camera. And I was about halfway through the video, and I was like, it's to a point where you're watching the video, and even if it's real, if there's like a hint of maybe you don't think it's real, of questioning, straight to the comments. And then what I'll do is probably about the 4th comment down. If anyone says AI, then I'll just scroll past. Just scroll right past. But it goes to the point of going viral, and I guess it just takes something like that. And that's what the compilation of this video is just, disturbing videos.
6. The Max Headroom hacking incidents. The mystery behind people behind the hijack
is that Colonel Sanders?
Of 2 Chicago TV stations in 1987 didn't only influence countless subsequent sci-fi media, but also continues to baffle the internet to this day. Back in the late 1980s, a news broadcast on WGN-TV was interrupted by someone costumed as Max Headroom, a fictional character, as they nodded to eerie electronic sounds. The station got control back.
That's the... If you're playing Fortnite and you got that one person whose mic is god-awful. Every time that they talk, it's like this, and then it's just kind of like going back and forth, and then you don't... Yeah. I gotta make sure that didn't mess up my... Okay, we're good. We're chilling, chat. We're chilling. Alright, back into it.
But later that night, WTTW was hijacked by seemingly the same people. This time, it was far more disturbing. With distorted audio, Max makes one bizarre statement after another, taking shots at journalism along the way. At the end, he's bent over and being spanked with a fly swatter by a woman. The lack of explanation and no one owning the stunt makes it even more eerie.
Take some pretty sophisticated microwave equipment operating in the broadcast auxiliary frequency bands.
Number 5. Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. For the first few moments, you think you're watching a cutesy puppet show for children featuring a song about creativity. Haha, nope.
I might paint a picture of a clown.
Whoa there, friend, you might need to slow down.
Right now, US Cellular makes it easy to switch and get $1,100 off any phone with no trade-in.
No trade-in?
After a few jarring moments, it goes off the deep end when the characters cover A Heart in Glitter, accompanied by disturbing music. This clip was originally released under the title Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared in 2011. However, after the short film became a viral hit, it morphed into a web series that took the name instead, and the episode became Creativity.
Now let's all agree to never be creative again.
Over the next few years, the channel added several more creepy entries. Then, Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared became a TV show released in 2022.
Wasn't there... This is kind of the stuff that made, like, Sesame Street to become almost horror in a sense. You know? I don't mind it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch disturbing videos like this. And I think maybe that's the reason why they became so popular, is because it creates almost some chaos in your brain. But then, you know, this could have been the spook of like the 2016 Elmo 3 a.m. challenges and stuff like that. Like, I remember I like burned my Elmo doll because I was so... I didn't want that to happen, or that to be even near me.
Disturbing a bigger audience who can no longer trust Sesame Street.
That's what family means to me and my family.
Number 4. The disappearance of Lars Mittank. Known as the most famous missing person on YouTube, the last known CCTV footage of Mittank led to wide speculation about what happened. This included human trafficking, something paranormal, or a severe reaction to medication. In 2014, Mittank was set to return to Germany after being on vacation in Bulgaria. Yet before he could, he was apparently in an altercation, leaving him injured and unable to fly. After his friends left with his blessing...
Okay, hold up. Let me just research on this guy. What's his name? Of Laris Mittank. Because I've never heard of this guy. So he's just a regular guy. I thought that he was a famous person that went missing. Pardon me.
Appearance of Lars Mittank. Known as the most famous missing person on YouTube, the last known CCTV footage of Mittank led to wide speculation about what happened. This included human trafficking, something paranormal, or a severe reaction to medication. In 2014, Mittank was set to return to Germany after being on vacation in Bulgaria. Yet before he could, he was apparently in an altercation, leaving him injured and unable to fly. After his friends left with his blessing, Mittank became paranoid that someone was after him. When he went to Varna Airport to get medically cleared, fear took over and he ran away. Mittank darted from the building, jumping a fence into a nearby forest. Since then, he hasn't been seen since.
He's like some sort of reincarnated spirit turned him into Bigfoot or something. He's just like dressed in a ghillie suit out in... It's not like North Carolina or Georgia where you see Bigfoot. It's Germany. I'm curious to hear a little bit more to this before I add anything else.
Number 3.
Okay, but do you think that's just more he's tired of the life that he's living? Because I can definitely think, or he just doesn't want there's people that have, especially in, you know, the now, with, I think that surveillance is going to become a huge thing with like drone surveillance and satellite surveillance and such. And it's just going to be harder and harder for, for border control. They're going to have people's faces in the data center knowing, like almost tracking you in a sense. Which is odd. It's like almost like the Maze Runner, where you're being tracked wherever you go now. And for me, I just adapt to it. I think that change is inevitable. So as long as it's not something that I think is going to be very, very unhumane and destroy humanity, then I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I think that crime will go down. But it does raise the case of, if somebody does become in power, then is that too much power to have on humanity? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I can get it. Like, he's maybe just unhappy with his family life or work life or whatever, and he just wants to disappear. And so he had everything lined up. He's at the point where he kissed his family goodbye and just wanted to kind of live on his own. And live, like, honestly, he could just be in an undiscovered tribe somewhere, becoming a Native American. Not Native American, but becoming native to a tribe of sorts. And, trying some shrooms and going around with some smelly people who like to be as part of their culture. I'm not dissing their culture. Anyways, I think that might be the case, and that he was just kind of tired of it, of living in such a structured, busy, go life, and in a society that kind of keeps you towards the path of, you're born, you go to school, you get a job, you retire, you die, and wanted something different.
Into a nearby forest. Since then, he hasn't been seen since. Number 3. Salad Fingers, Spoons. In 2004, David Firth released Spoons, the first episode of a series featuring his Salad Fingers character on Newgrounds. After a slow start, the series' popularity took off, worming its way into the public consciousness and developing a cult following.
I must find the perfect spoon.
Perhaps inspired by Tim Burton, the apocalyptic setting with a dark circled-eyed and long-fingered character, plus a high-pitched voice talking about his love of rusty spoons, was eerie.
Might I ask where you keep the spoons?
But the sound effects, like the screeching child, the scratching, and the heavy breathing, added a deeper level of dread. With people both disturbed and fascinated by Salad Fingers, the series has continued adding more episodes over the years, going even darker along the way.
You must have lost all faith in...
I personally hated Salad Fingers. And a lot of people liked him. I think it really created something special to have a new audience and to create something new with to tickle people's brains in a different way, and then them figuring out that they like to be, tickled and loved up on by a new sense of creativity. But personally, I can't stand it.
This broken soul.
Number...
Worlds will collide.
Number 2. The last sighting of Elisa Lam. In 2013, after Elisa Lam vanished, the police released security footage from an elevator in the Stay on Main Hotel, her last known sighting. The clip starts off innocently, with the Canadian student selecting buttons, but then, Lam suddenly steps back as though she's seen or heard something. After looking in the hallway, she seems scared about something. Eventually, Lam goes into the hall and appears to talk to someone off camera before walking away.
30 seconds later, the door closes, and she's never seen again.
This clip led to various theories, such as Lam being under the influence of a substance, was having a paranormal experience, or there was someone after her.
Do you believe she's interacting with another person?
I don't know.
Sadly, her body was later discovered in the building's water tank. It was officially
Interesting. Oh my gosh. You think that she was just... What do I think? Well, I gotta see. There's definitely gotta be some, cameras in that hallway. Was that the only camera that they had was in the elevator? Here, let's listen a little bit more.
Seemed to have been accidental.
It says if guests stay, quote, you do so at your own risk and peril.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make
Number 1.
Settings and switch on notifications.
Number
Going back to the other one. And just
1. I feel fantastic.
Hell to the now. Hell to the now. See, I was the type of person growing up that Slender Man was really scary. The Principal was really scary. What else was pretty scary? Not all principals. I had some pretty cool principals, but mannequins were up there though. Anything that, because there's something psychological about it. Anything that looks like a human, but you can tell isn't a human, biologically, you're more frightened by. And I found that to be true. Like, I would walk into J.C. Penney growing up in, like, middle school. And I was slightly curious, but also slightly weirded out. Because you would have a mannequin who was twerking on the wall, and then, as a little middle schooler, you're like, ooh, that, you would get horned up by looking at a girl on a cereal box who was just smiling. And so they would always have, they would have the clothed ones with the clothes on in the front, and then in the very back you'd see all the naked mannequins, and then you'd kind of be peeking around while you were just trying to get you were going school shoe shopping. It was back to school, and I came from a very Christian household, so I kind of had to get, look far away and act like I wasn't looking at it.
When this video first spread on YouTube in 2009, it unlocked automatonophobia, a fear of human-like figures, in many people. Put online in 2004, it received a lot more attention when I Feel Fantastic was uploaded on YouTube by Creepyblog.
What makes this even creepier is the black windows. I guess it's just not being able to see what's going on around you, and then you're just straight on with the dang mannequin. You got flight or fight mode going on.
The clip shows an animatronic robot named Tara singing with a distorted voice about her positive feelings. Even Tara's arm moves around, as if in some kind of limited and upsetting dance. Error cut with odd camera angles, seemingly irrelevant outside of footage, and costume changes. The video has lived rent-free in the internet's mind for years. Tara was apparently created by John Bergeron, who first spoke about his work with the android in 2001. Hopefully, he didn't make any others after this nightmare. After all that creepiness, what wholesome video do you want to watch to cleanse your disturbed?
Did you enjoy this video?
W video. I've always loved Watch Mojo.
Convocou, talvez cê tá com o popo é vapo, vapo no setor é vapo, vapo do vapor, vapo, vapo no setor é vapo, vapo do vapor, vapo, vapo do vapor, vai tomar vapo do vapor, vapo, vapo do vapor, vai tomar vapo do vapor.